Hello and welcome back to Girl Party on Manic Animation. Previously, after finding rooms and a hot meal at the tavern known as Helmet's Hole in the seaside town of Hooligan's Port, the party found themselves in conflict. When Sir James stepped out to the bathroom, Angel got into an argument with a large mercenary leader and his group of men. Angel, not wanting to reveal their identity as crusaders as per James' instructions, came up with a story off the top of her head. She told the mercenaries their group is a band of traveling musicians. When he didn't believe her, James came to the rescue, backing her play, and also claiming the group was a band. Now, still a bit drunk and hoping to disarm the situation, the group has agreed to prove they can play. This is Chapter 8, Sound Check. The mercenary leader laughed right in my face. Hell, I was laughing along with him. It was infectious.
Well then, if the mighty Sir James said it, it must be true! All right, let's hear these musicians play!
I stopped laughing, turning to Claire, who was suddenly at my side again. He knows my name? How does he know my name?
Words were said, James.
Claire replied, looking stressed, irritated, or both. Maybe more.
And what does your little band call itself?
The merc leader asked in his booming voice. Before I could even think about it, Claire responded.
Girl party.
She said it flat, defiant, and she was staring me down with narrowed eyes, daring me to challenge her. I shrugged, sheepishly, signaling surrender. It was obviously intended as some sort of punishment, and honestly, my drunk brain kinda thought it was clever. That's fair, I said, holding my hands up like a man accepting judgment.
Yeah, we're girl party, and we're gonna play all right. We're gonna play all over your face,
Angel declared, practically spitting the words at the mercenary leader like a challenge in iambic nonsense.
What does that even mean?
He asked, clearly baffled. I had the same question, and I was on her team. I jumped in before she could escalate it any further. Give us a few minutes, we have to, set up and stuff, I said, waving my hands around like I was landing a plane made of embarrassment. He just shrugged. Tension diffused. Angel wasn't done.
Yeah, we need a few minutes. It's called rehearsal.
She stretched the word out like she was talking to a toddler who just licked a doorknob. The mercenary shrugged again.
Whatever.
But Angel kept going.
And when you hear us shred, you're gonna apologize.
Would he even know what shred meant? Or apologize? He looked back, giving her his full attention now.
Apologize, will I? Very well, but if you fail, if you suck, if this is all some bad joke,
He stepped closer, his voice lowering.
then you're mine for the night, missy.
Angel puffed her chest, chin up, brave as ever.
Bet.
My mouth fell open. Wait, what?
I warned you. He gets protective.
I heard Molly say to Angel, chuckling like this was all just cute theater. The mercenary walked away smirking, rejoining his crew. Angel turned to me, a bit unsteady on her feet.
Sir James, I really need to finish the song.
Her armor clinked softly as she moved, not enough to be threatening, but definitely enough to say, "Buzz night incoming." I nodded, trying to reset. Perfect, yes, get the song ready. As Angel sat back down at the table, I motioned for Claire to follow me. Molly trailed behind us, curiosity dancing in her eyes. Over here, I said, pulling Claire aside. I had a lot of questions, important ones, but my brain was still stuck back on Angel and the bet. She wasn't serious, right, about that bet?
I don't know, James. He was probably serious. Angel's likely too drunk to have a clue. I thought you were going to get us out of this mess.
Claire threw her hands up.
We've got no gear, we've got no sound. I don't even know if anyone else here can play anything.
She'd said anyone else. That was a good sign. Clarence had always been a musical prodigy. Piano, guitar, brass, he could play them all. He made music on his computer like it was breathing. We used to jam back when I was trying to learn guitar. I never got very far. Neither did Sharon, honestly. Though, to be fair, she was better than me. And she'd played cello in school for a couple years.
I can play a beat on a table. I drummed a little back in my training days.
Molly said cheerfully, without a hint of the tense energy Claire and I both radiated. She mimed a drum roll on the nearby table with her fingers. The dwarf barkeep glared at her. That was unexpected, and kind of amazing. I had no idea my mom had ever played drums. That had to be from before I was even born. Every time I thought I had her figured out, she respawned with bonus traits.
That's great, but we still don't have any instruments.
That's okay, I replied, placing my hand on her shoulder like I might have done with Clarence. Gosh, she was soft. She looked at me, then down at my hand. I removed it.
It's okay.
She echoed, eyebrow rising, drunk grin. The unexpected smoothness of her skin had temporarily erased every thought in my brain. But I recovered. Huh? Oh, right, yes. It's okay. We have something better. I let it hang for dramatic effect, then dropped the bomb. We got magic. Claire swayed slightly, processing that, then arched her eyebrow again. I knew that eyebrow. Clarence used it when he figured out how I cheated at Monster Card. Claire used it when she smelled a plan.
I guess I could create illusionary instruments, as long as I have something personal from each of us with mass. But it won't work if you don't believe you can play it.
I was already grinning. All in.
Sword Girl told me earlier that she can play guitar.
Molly added, dropping more good news. She did? Seriously? I play guitar too! I said, a little too loud, a little too excited. Molly chuckled in that way that meant she knew something I didn't. I knew Sword Girl meant Angel. Molly had nicknames for all of us. Angel was Sword Girl, I was Eye Candy, which I was trying very hard to never hear again. Claire was either Mage or Red. Shayla was Priest. I didn't know if they were meant to be playful or if she just genuinely didn't remember our names. Either way, I was stuck with Eye Candy. Great. Then my smile faltered. I turned to Claire. Wait, do you know what a guitar is?
I think so. Like a mandolin, but longer neck and crunchier?
She said, eyebrow still doing its skeptical arc. I nodded slowly, relieved. Yeah, okay, that sounds right. None of us had realized Shayla had walked up behind us.
Wait, so we are a band?
She asked, her voice a mix of disbelief, dismay, and vague cosmic betrayal.
We are now, priest,
said Molly, flashing her a grin like it was the best news she'd delivered all day. Our wizard was already deep in thought. Claire had taken over. That made me happy. Once Clarence had an idea, 9 times out of 10, it was a banger. Claire had that same look of determined confidence, the kind that meant something cool was about to happen. My only concern was that, like me, she was clearly quite buzzed.
Hey, big guy, can you get that stage up on the table?
Claire called out to Boomer. He blinked, staring at her confused. I did too. Claire gave a cute, tipsy chuckle.
Table, up on the stage, I meant. 2 of them, actually. One kinda in the back?
That made more sense. I chuckled as I imagined him acting on her accidental words and yanking the stage planks out of their place. And I'm pretty sure he could have pulled it off. You still seem pretty buzzed. You sure you're okay for this? I asked, eyebrows raised.
Fine, I'm fine.
She said, chuckling and flapping her hand at me like I was interrupting her favorite show.
I only drank the 1 cup. Besides, drinking and casting is a blast.
Somewhere, a responsible wizard just fainted, I was sure. You drank that whole cup of Dwarven Whiskey? I asked, incredulous. She weighed a lot less than I did, and the half cup I had was still echoing through my bloodstream like festival drums.
Don't tell me how to live my life, James.
She shot back, half playful. I raised my hands in surrender.
Okay. I'ma do the drums first. Stand back, everyone.
Claire announced, turning to the table Boomer had just dropped near the back of the stage. We were all up there now. Everyone else in the tavern was still ignoring us. Apparently, drunks piddling around on stage was just another Tuesday night at Helmet's Hold. The dwarf who owned the place had no problem with the performance. He just told us we had to clean up afterward, and that he sure as hell wasn't going to pay us. Fair enough.
Wait, do I need something personal on the table?
Asked Molly, remembering Claire's earlier words.
Not really for the drums, but for the sticks you will. Your daggers would do. We can get those with the second spell.
Claire replied, her face already shifting into focus mode. Then she started chanting. Low, deliberate, and rhythmic. It wasn't like anything I'd heard from her before, more like a priestess at a rave than a wizard. Her fingers moved through the air in tight patterns and the table began to hum. Then, sup! A burst of purple energy cracked through the tavern air like a lightsaber duct taped to a Tesla coil. The whole room flinched. Purple smoke poured off the table and curled into the rafters. And then we had drums. I couldn't help but laugh. Right there, painted on the blue drum head in ridiculously large yellow script. Girl party. If we were going down in flames, at least the drums would burn with branding,
Dope.
said Molly with a half grin, nodding in approval.
All right, weapons now. Put them all on the other table.
Claire said, already eyeing her next target like a sniper planning her next spell.
Guitars for James and Angel. Bass for Shayla?
She asked, double-checking.
I don't know what that is.
Shayla interrupted before I could answer. You know what it is, I said, instantly recognizing the expression she was wearing.
I really don't.
Her face was a picture of polite, stubborn confusion. She was choosing not to understand. Sure you do. It's like a cello, I snapped, losing patience.
What's a cello?
That same faint smile, that same, I'm just asking questions face. Why was she doing this? Angel's voice cut in before I could combust.
Don't worry. We can do this one with no bass.
She said, holding up the freshly written lyric sheet like it was a holy relic. I smiled, relieved to finally get some traction, but then came Shayla's voice, icy and flat.
I'll figure it out.
She muttered, turning away. There it was, the hard-headed Sharon I remembered. Somehow she'd weaponized magical memory loss into maximum sibling defiance. Claire stepped forward to cast again.
Sticks, picks, chains, whips, just your typical teenage rock band kit, Red.
Chirped Molly with a grin and a wink. The instruments will be enough, Claire, I cut in, trying to keep this from turning into a circus act.
Rock band kit coming up.
Zap! The second purple blast hit like a thunderclap made of neon. The weapons on the table vanished in a blink, swallowed by the surge of crackling violet energy. And in their place, a pink and white bass for Shayla, glowing faintly like it had been enchanted by sass. A red and white guitar for Angel that practically screamed lead heroine. A blue and white guitar for me that looked like it belonged in a fantasy arena show. Drumsticks for Molly, already snatched up and spinning between her fingers. How did she know how to do that? And for Claire, a keytar. Of course she had a keytar. She was a wizard. She had to look like she could cast spells and drop synth lines at the same time. Now we had gear. Now we had sound. We still hadn't seen the song Angel wrote that we were going to play, but we had instruments, stage presence, and a dangerously inflated sense of confidence. Hopefully, that was enough. In less than 10 minutes, we were in place. I was shocked at how much we looked like a band. Sure, maybe we looked like a party of fantasy adventurers LARPing as a band, but a band nonetheless. It was like someone gave a Ren Fair troupe a record deal. I could hear Angel trying out a few riffs. She really could play the guitar. I hadn't sobered up even a little since we started, and I was pretty sure I had a dopey grin as I watched her, testing the fancy red guitar that matched the ribbons in her hair. I looked like a bard who'd just spotted a magical maiden strumming the lute he never deserved. She gave me a dopey grin back, and my heart almost melted.
Need a sound check. Say something in the mic, Jimmy.
Claire said, pointing at one of the microphones. Jimmy. Huh? Jimmy, not James. I pondered her use of my real-world nickname for a moment, but I was too tipsy to think on it for very long. I set my guitar carefully against the wall and walked over to the mic. I picked it up and tapped the top a few times. Claire had transformed the second table into massive speakers after we got our instruments off of it. There weren't any cords, no amps, no idea how she made the sound actually go anywhere, but the moment I tapped the mic, the speakers rang out clear. Somewhere in the back of my brain, my inner sound tech was weeping. No chords, no mixers, no logic, just pure sorcery and volume. Damn, Claire, this is wild, I said, grinning like an idiot.
We need a real sound check. Say something into the mic.
She replied, eyes closed as she swayed gently from intoxication. I snapped the mic up to my mouth and rapped a quick bar into it with as much attitude as I could muster. Just stepped out for a piss no crime, came back, found I'd lost track of time. It was loud. It sounded great. Angel burst into giggles, then hit a couple crunchy notes on her guitar.
Hey, hit that bar again. Let me chop it with my axe.
Said Angel, still laughing. She was grinning like a dragon who just discovered she breathed fire. Just stepped out for a piss, no crime, came back, found I'd lost track of time. She shredded a matching note. I kept going, just saying whatever came into my head. Shayla got friends, Molly's running tabs, Claire's half drunk and mathing like a wizard dad. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't filtering. I was just narrating the night like a drunk dungeon poet with a beat. Boomer and Lila, new NPCs. Shayla makes them family with elf-kissed ease. The drums kicked in. Molly was with us now. Her rhythm hit like a tavern brawl, messy, violent, and somehow perfectly on time. I glanced up and realized a few people in the crowd had started to turn our way. Tankards stopped midair, conversations faded. Even the guy asleep under the table lifted his head for a second. Then I break and the room's on fire, social fire, awkward ire. We weren't even pretending anymore. This wasn't a cover act. This was Girl Party, live at Helmet's Hold, and the crowd was buying in. We're a band now! Everyone was playing. We were all in. We're a band now! More of the tavern turned toward us. Momentum was building, and so was the confidence. Thanks to Angel and Ale, now! Was this how rock stars felt? Were we rock stars now? Was I gonna throw up? As I kept freestyling, I just told the story of what was happening tonight. I couldn't believe the energy we were getting. It was electric, chaotic, real. The song was short, maybe just over 2 minutes, but when Angel closed it with a face-melting solo, everything paused. Angel's fingers tore across the strings like she was banishing a demon, and judging by the faces in the room, she might have succeeded. I closed it out with the only line I could think of. Next round's on Shayla, let's rehearse. I couldn't think of a real ending, so I just made something up. Classic bard move. The crowd went wild. The mercenary leader and his friends were still whispering among themselves, frowning. But everyone else? They were into it. Both barmaids had been dancing. One was clapping off beat, the other was spinning a tray like a tambourine. Honestly, they were better backup than we deserved. The well-dressed knight with the shillelagh-style staff was watching us intently. No smile, no frown, just watching. Judging. Maybe plotting our world tour. Even the Dwarven tavern owner had been nodding along. He didn't stop cleaning that same mug, but his beard twitched like it approved. We were, indeed, a band now. We hope you enjoyed Girl Party, Chapter 8, Sound Check. Please check out the music video that accompanies this chapter, Drinking Games. Check back soon for Chapter 9, Brawl, and the music video that goes with the chapter, Feedback Wave. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe for more. All chapters and music videos are posted on Manic Animation here on YouTube. Thank you for watching.